Let's talk about The Witcher. This is a show that I think is going to be the new. I think this is Netflix's Game of Thrones. If I'm being fair, this is a show that, if done right, and I don't know if it is, because like the trailer, there's some elements of it that are still kind of iffy, but trailers are never a full representation of what we're going to see, as evidenced by like The Last Jedi. But we don't know how good it's going to be. The trailer looks dope, and a lot of people are excited because the game that came out about 4.5 years ago now, Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt, was, super popular. I think it sold 20 million copies. People have also played the Witcher video game, Witcher 2: Assassin of Kings. And The Witcher itself has found worldwide fame as a video game series. Now, the books themselves are great from what I hear. I haven't read them. It's on my list of things to read, especially before the season comes out, because this first season is based upon like the first two books, which are mostly just short stories. So I want to like dive into that so I have a better fundamental understanding of the world. And also, of course, to get more Geralt of Rivia. But for past the show, like, what are they going to do with it? And according to the showrunner here, they have plans for more than 1 or 2 seasons of the show, which is insane because, you don't know how long something like this is going to last for, right? Like Henry Cavill effectively like ditched his entire Superman career, which is probably already dead, but he ditched Superman. He ditched Hollywood, really, to go and make this series. So, like, he's all in. And if it ends up being a big hit for Netflix, we will get everything. So the Witcher showrunner, Lauren Hissrich, is looking ahead, 7 seasons ahead to be exact. She revealed that she has enough story to fill 7 seasons of the show should Netflix renew it after its debut series premiere this December, saying, "I've mapped out stories for 7 seasons. Right now, it's just about how do you set up stories that really capture the audiences for years at a time." She says the worst thing we could do is put all of our energies into just one season and not be thinking about where these characters can grow to. And that is true. That is true. I mean, if you know anything about the stories, there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of, Geralt and Yennefer, and then there's Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri, and then there's Daffodil, and there's a lot of characters. So, and there's a lot of story and a lot they can really pull from. What they need to do, though, is really plan out a long arc that ends ultimately in the Wild Hunt, and I'll tell you guys why. So it says the upcoming dark fantasy series is based on the novel series of the same name by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. The tale follows the Witcher known as Geralt of Rivia, a member of mutated, mystically trained order of professional monster hunters, as he travels the continent and finds himself caught in conflicts that could reshape the world around him. And of course, it stars Henry Cavill, and it comes out December 20th. Now, I have said before, there we go. There we go. I have said before that it coming out on the 20th of December is a massive FU, a massive middle finger to Lucasfilm, Disney, and Star Wars. Because there's no other reason why you would drop 8 episodes of a very anticipated medieval fantasy show based on a very popular video game. Well, very popular novel series that then was also adapted into a very popular video game series. On the same day as the end of the Skywalker saga, unless you were looking to hurt the bottom line of Star Wars. Now, people out there would sit there and go, I don't believe that's real. But no. Like, if you think about it, think about how much time in a weekend you spend watching stuff. If this show is as good as they think it is by releasing it on that date, people are going to binge the hell out of it. It's only 8 episodes, 8 hours long. You could go through that in a weekend and still probably find time to go see Star Wars. But again, we can kind of see what they're doing here. If this series does what they want it to do, like I said, it could become the Game of Thrones of Netflix. And right now, they need it because they've got Stranger Things, which is a great series. But we're hearing that Stranger Things season 2 may not even come out in the summer of 2020, may come out later than that. And we just had season 3 a few months ago, leaving it on a big ass cliffhanger. And 65 million households watched that show. According to Netflix, they said 65 million households worldwide watched Stranger Things. That show is a juggernaut. I mean, when you look at the numbers of Game of Thrones, 19.5 million people watched the series finale. Another 19.5 million people pirated the series finale. So a lot of people, watched it, but more people watched Stranger Things season 3 in the first couple days. So what I'm trying to get through here is they need more things like that. Netflix really does. When we talk about Netflix, oftentimes we talk about the concept of quality over quantity, and Netflix pumps out so much quantity that it's starting to feel like a lot of it is not necessarily matching the quality. Now, there's a lot of it that does, like let's say The Dark Crystal. But that came and went. That came out at the end of August, right before Labor Day weekend. It came and it went. No one's talking about it anymore. And after the first week, no one really talked about it. After the first week of Stranger Things, when those people barreled through it, they didn't really talk about it much. But The Witcher has the opportunity to keep people talking because of the books and because of what could be coming down the pipeline. And if they're smart, what they'll do is they will go to CD PROJEKT RED and they will sit there and say, listen, we have the show. The show's popular. Henry Cavill has played through the Wild Hunt 3 times now. Let us get the rights to adapt the games. And I think that's going to be what takes us into further seasons, if it gets it. Now, the other downside to that, and the reason why I say going to the games, it would be good. It's not that there's not enough content with the books to mine to tell these stories. There totally is. But since 20 million people have bought and played The Witcher 3 over 4 years, the story of the Wild Hunt is a very popular one. People really like it. And if you really want to appease the fans, if Netflix really wants to appease the fans, then that should be a priority. Because gamers are loyal. And if they can get a good adaptation of a game, I mean, like, when have we ever really had a good adaptation of a video game? We really haven't, right? So there's that. So there's something to consider there. And I think that Netflix has got to have more content that can really rival its own what's going to be coming down the pipeline now with Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock. So they need this to be big. And if they're smart, and they've proven to be so far, they'll play it. They'll play it really well, and they'll make a lot of money in the process. This video is supported by patrons like you. If you'd like to become a patron, please head over to patreon.com/Matt Jarbo.